Hey there, it's Lance, your guide to unwinding without needing to fork out a small fortune for a fancy spa retreat, or ending up curled in a ball, crying next to the frozen peas at the grocery store. Trust me, I've been there. The peas are comforting, but we can do better. Whether you're already snuggled up in bed, desperately trying to get your brain to switch off, or still in full multitask mode, folding laundry while half watching a show you've already seen 3 times, this episode is for you. And listen, I get it. Life is hectic. Maybe you've been running on fumes all day, and the only thing you want more than sleep is a giant, uninterrupted nap. But here's the thing. Even if you're half listening while you zone out, that's okay. You showed up. And that's a win in my book. I promise by the end of this, you'll feel at least a little more relaxed, or at the very least, you'll have had a good laugh. Welcome back to Resilient Rituals, where we laugh at our problems before finally doing something about them. Because if we can't laugh, we'd probably have to scream. Seriously though, if you're anything like me, you've probably had at least one scream into a pillow moment this week. So let's take a deep breath together, maybe unclench that jaw, and get ready to unwind. Tonight's episode is like that friend who makes you laugh when you're on the verge of losing it. You know, the one who can turn your stress into a shared joke instead of a solo meltdown. You know, that moment when you finally crawl into bed, sigh with relief, and then, bam, your brain decides it's time to replay every awkward interaction you've ever had since you were like 12 years old. Remember that time you tripped in front of your crush in high school? Yeah, let's relive that for no reason whatsoever. Or worse, it decides to kick off the greatest hits of your worst decisions, like a late-night cringe compilation that nobody asked for. Tonight, we're shutting that mental replay down hard. We're diving into a one-down ritual that's not just effective, but dare I say, actually enjoyable. Imagine winding down without feeling like you're forcing yourself to meditate or drink some herbal tea that tastes like damp socks. We're talking real practical steps that'll help you let go of the day. Without rolling your eyes so hard, you pull a muscle. You know that sweet relief of finally crawling into bed, only for your brain to cue up its greatest hits of cringeworthy moments. Tonight, we're pressing pause on that replay, and I'm going to walk you through a few simple practices that have helped me let go of the day's stress. By the end of this episode, you'll have a solid evening routine ready that you can use anytime your mind starts acting like an overcaffeinated hamster on a wheel. We've got 3 simple but powerful practices lined up for you. Gratitude journaling, and no, it's not just for yoga moms. Breathwork that feels like a mini massage for your lungs, and a guided reflection that might actually make you smile before you drift off. Seriously, these are the tools that I wish I'd had back when I was struggling to fall asleep after a stressful day. Think of it like building a cozy little mental hammock where you can chill out, instead of lying there like a human pretzel, tangled up in your own stress. So stick around. You'll walk away from this episode with a full toolkit for winding down wisely, and maybe even a new favorite bedtime ritual. Okay, quick check-in, you're here. And that's huge. Taking time for yourself is something many people skip. So give yourself a little credit. You're already ahead of the game. And since you're investing in your well-being, why not make it even easier next time? Go ahead and hit subscribe to have this episode ready when you need it most. Like a trusty toolkit for those restless nights. Go ahead, give yourself a gentle fist bump. Or a high five if you're feeling extra celebratory. Just be careful not to knock over your water glass, like I did last night. Nothing like starting your wind-down routine by soaking your sheets with a surprise splash of ice-cold water. If that's not a metaphor for how life goes sometimes, I don't know what is. Before we dive in, don't forget to hit subscribe to Resilient Rituals. Trust me, you'll want to have this episode saved for those nights when you're stuck wide awake at 2 a.m., wondering if that weird noise you heard was your house settling, or a raccoon plotting its takeover. It's a handy episode to have on standby, like an emergency chocolate stash. Or that one friend who always knows what to say when you're spiraling. And hey, while you're at it, leave a quick review. It's like a virtual fist bump for me, and it helps more people find our little corner of calm in this chaotic world. Now that we've had a moment to reset, it's time to dive into our ultimate winding down ritual. Picture your mind as a hyperactive puppy that just discovered an unattended espresso machine. It's cute, but it's zooming around like it's in a caffeine-fueled parkour competition. Tonight, we're going to guide that little puppy to calm down, using some simple yet powerful techniques. So what are we doing tonight? We've got the mental puppy treats ready, gratitude journaling to calm the chaos, mindful breath work to bring everything back to center, and guided reflection to wrap it up with a little self-kindness. Think of this as a 3-part spa treatment for your overworked brain. Okay, let's be real. The words of gratitude journaling might make you want to roll your eyes so hard you see your own brain. But before you dismiss it, hear me out. Writing down just 3 things you're grateful for isn't about pretending everything is perfect. It's about shifting your focus from everything is terrible to, hey, at least my favorite mug didn't break today. It's like handing your brain a warm cup of cocoa before bed. And who doesn't love that? Here's the science. When you take a moment to express gratitude, your brain actually starts to rewire itself. It's like teaching your mind a new dance routine, one that's a little more happy groove and a little less stressed out shuffle. And no, you don't need anything fancy to start. Grab a napkin, use your phone's notes app, or scribble on the back of a receipt. Just write it down. I'll be honest, my first attempt at gratitude journaling was a disaster. I sat there staring at the page, and all I could come up with was, I'm grateful for pants that fit. It was supposed to be this profound moment of reflection, and instead I ended up writing, I'm grateful for stretchy waistbands. But you know what? It made me laugh. And that's the point. It's not about being deep. It's about finding something, anything, that makes you smile before bed. All right, let's try this together. Take a moment right now. What's one small thing you can be grateful for today? It doesn't have to be earth-shattering. Maybe it's the fact that you found a parking spot without circling for 10 minutes. Give yourself a second to think about it. And notice how even a tiny shift in focus can make a big difference. Go on, I'll wait. Seriously, I'm just sitting here with my stretchy waistband too. And isn't it nice to pause for a moment and focus on something good, even if it's small? Now that we've found a little gratitude, let's take it a step further and help our minds settle even more. Next up is some mindful breath work. Don't worry. This isn't one of those complicated techniques where you feel like you need a manual. This is simple. And it's going to feel like a deep exhale after a long day. Picture this. You're standing in your kitchen, and someone just pulled a fresh batch of cookies out of the oven. Take a deep breath in, like you're inhaling the smell of those cookies. Deep, slow, and indulgent. Hold it like you're trying to keep from blurting out what you really think of your boss during a meeting. Now exhale slowly, like you're letting go of every annoying email you got today. Let's do it together. Ready? Inhale, hold, and exhale. Feel that? That's your nervous system doing a happy little dance, like it just found its favorite song on the radio. Think of your breath as the ultimate reset button. It's like hitting Control-Alt-Delete on your stress. Sometimes all you need is a good reboot. When you breathe deeply, you're sending a signal to your brain that it's okay to relax. It's like giving your mind a little nudge and saying, hey buddy, it's time to chill. We've got this. Breathing is also the one part of your nervous system that you can control directly. It's like having the keys to a secret back door into your own brain. And the best part? You can do it anytime, anywhere, sitting in traffic, stuck in a meeting, or even in line at the grocery store. Next time you feel yourself getting wound up, try this breathwork exercise and notice how it brings you back to center. Now that we've found our breath, let's use this calm space to look inward and reflect a bit deeper. Let me tell you about a client of mine who was struggling to fall asleep because her mind was like a movie projector stuck on a loop, replaying every cringeworthy moment of the day. It was like her brain had a director's cut of the worst of me, a day in review. So we tried something different. Instead of asking herself, "What did I mess up today?" we flipped the script and asked, "What went well today?" It was like turning on a light in a dark room. She started to realize that, hey, maybe today wasn't a total disaster after all. And guess what? She fell asleep faster and stopped sending me late night emails that read like an existential crisis. All right, let's do this together. Right now, take a second to think about one thing you did well today. It could be something small, like I remembered to water my plants, or maybe you managed not to argue with a family member about something pointless. It's the little things that count, so take a deep breath, think of that one thing, and give yourself a mental high five. Go ahead, I'll wait. You're doing better than you give yourself credit for. Remember, this isn't about being perfect. It's about finding those little moments of, hey, I did okay today. Because let's be honest, nobody's life is as put together as their Instagram feed makes it look. If you manage to get through the day without tripping over your own feet, or accidentally emailing your boss a meme meant for your friend, you're winning. Take a moment to appreciate that small victory. You've earned it. And while you're basking in that small win, let's take a quick pause for a word from our sponsor. They're as committed to your relaxation as I am. So use this break to stretch out your neck, or take another deep breath. We'll be right back, ready to wrap up this wind-down ritual together. Ever wondered what your body's trying to tell you, or why that little ache won't go away? On the Resilience Flow Network, our podcasts help you tune into those signals with simple, practical advice. From clearing the clouds to mindful mover, resilience rituals, and 6-minute reset, each episode gives you easy-to-follow tips for a healthier, more resilient life. And guiding you is Lance Labno, a doctor of physical therapy, one who knows how to help you understand your body and make real changes in how you feel. So whether you've got 5 minutes or half an hour, there's something here to help you move better, feel better, and live well. Take a step toward a healthier you, and subscribe to all of our podcasts on the Resilience Flow Network on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. All right, let's talk gratitude journaling. And no, it doesn't have to be this deep, soul-searching exercise where you're thankful for the meaning of life and the stars aligning. Let's keep it simple and real. Your gratitude list doesn't need to be profound. If I didn't drop my phone in the toilet today is the best you've got. That's a victory. In fact, that's practically a standing ovation in adulting. Here's how to make this work without feeling like you're writing a Hallmark card. Keep a tiny notebook by your bed, or just use the Notes app on your phone. Jot down 3 things that made you smile today. They can be as mundane as I found an extra fry at the bottom of the bag, or my neighbor's dog didn't bark at 6 a.m. today. The key is to focus on the small wins, the little moments that get overlooked when we're busy stressing over the big stuff. And don't worry about getting it right. One time my gratitude entry was literally, I'm grateful that I didn't run out of coffee filters. That's it. Was it poetic? Nope. Did it make me chuckle? Absolutely. And that's the point. This exercise isn't about achieving enlightenment. It's about giving your mind a gentle nudge towards positivity before bed. Try adding a twist to your list. Make one of the items something silly or unexpected. For example, I'm grateful I didn't trip over my own shoelaces today, or I'm thankful I only had one existential crisis during my commute. It makes the process lighter and more fun, and you might find yourself looking forward to it just to see what quirky thing you come up with next. And if you skip a day, don't beat yourself up. This isn't a mandatory assignment. It's your chance to end the day on a lighter note, even if it's a note about stretchy pants. Let's move on to breathwork. It sounds fancy, but all it really means is paying attention to how you're breathing. I can't tell you how many times I've caught myself holding my breath like I'm hiding from a Tyrannosaurus Rex in Jurassic Park, just because I got a slightly stressful email. We forget to breathe like normal humans when we're stressed, and it turns us into tense, air-starved zombies. So, Here's the tip. Set a reminder on your phone that says, breathe like you mean it. Trust me, it's worth it. Think of it as giving your brain a little gift, a moment of oxygen it didn't know it needed. You don't have to make it complicated. When the reminder pops up, take a few deep breaths. Inhale like you're savoring the smell of a fresh cup of coffee. Hold it like you're taking in the last breath of fresh air before entering your weekly team meeting. And exhale like you're blowing away all the nonsense that's been cluttering up your mind. If you're feeling extra ambitious, try pairing your breath work with a mini mantra. It can be something as simple as in with calm, out with chaos. Or if you're like me, in with good vibes, out with all the things I'm pretending don't bother me. The mantra helps you stay focused, and it gives your mind something positive to latch onto. Plus, it sounds a lot more zen than just huffing and puffing in silence. If you're stuck in traffic or waiting in a long line, use that time for breath work instead of spiraling into frustration. I call it stealth relaxation. Nobody around you has to know you're doing it. They'll just think you're the calmest person in the room, even if your internal monologue is screaming. It's like a little secret superpower you can carry with you everywhere. All right, let's get into guided reflection. This is where most people go wrong. They end the day with a mental guilt trip party, rehashing everything that didn't go according to plan. Your brain becomes the world's worst DJ, spinning a remix of the greatest mistakes of me on repeat. But here's the thing. Reflection doesn't have to be a self-roasting session. Instead of focusing on what went wrong, ask yourself, what's one thing I did well today? It could be as small as I remembered to bring my reusable bags to the grocery store, or as big as I finally tackled that email I'd been avoiding for a week. The point is to shift the spotlight from your slip-ups to your successes. No matter how tiny they might seem, you'd be surprised how good it feels to give yourself a little credit at the end of the day. If you want to take this a step further, try giving your reflection a theme. Maybe tonight you focus on what you learned. Even if it's just, I learned that eating 3 slices of pizza right before bed is a terrible idea. Or try reflecting on something you're proud of. Like I'm proud that I spoke up in a meeting today. Or even, I'm proud that I didn't throw my laptop out the window during that tech glitch. Giving your reflection a theme helps guide your thoughts and keeps you from falling into the everything was awful trap. Let's do this together right now. Think back on your day. What's one thing you did well? It doesn't have to be groundbreaking. Maybe you made someone laugh, or you managed to get through your to-do list without losing your cool. Whatever it is, take a moment to acknowledge it and give yourself a little mental pat on the back. You'd be amazed at how much better you feel when you end the day with a win, no matter how small. Let's bring it all together. Gratitude, breath, and reflection. It's a simple 3-step wind-down ritual that's easier than trying to fold a fitted sheet, and a lot more satisfying. The beauty of these practices is that they're flexible. You can do them anywhere, anytime, and they don't require any special tools or props, unless you count stretchy pants, which are basically a mandatory accessory for relaxation. Here's your mini recap. Write down 3 things you're grateful for, even if they're as silly as, I didn't spill coffee on myself today. Take a few deep breaths like you're savoring the best smell in the world, and wrap it up with a quick reflection. Celebrate one thing you did well, even if it's just surviving the day without yelling at your inbox. This ritual is about ending the day on a good note, no matter what kind of chaos you had to wade through. All right, let's wrap this up. Like a cozy blanket at the end of a long day, tonight we put together a complete wind-down ritual that's designed to calm your mind faster than hitting Do Not Disturb on your phone. We kick things off with gratitude journaling, keeping it simple, and finding joy in the small wins, whether that's I didn't spill coffee on myself today, or I managed to wear pants that aren't sweatpants. Because hey, progress is progress. Then we moved on to mindful breath work, where we learn to breathe like we actually mean it. It's amazing how something as basic as breathing can become a full body relaxation exercise When you do it with intention, we took those deep, cookie-scented breaths, hit the mental reset button, and exhaled away all the nonsense that's been cluttering up our minds. It's like giving your brain a little spa day, minus the cucumbers on your eyes. Finally, we closed out with a guided reflection, shifting the focus from what went wrong to what went well. It's the mental equivalent of flipping your pillow to the cool side, refreshing, comforting, and exactly what you need after a long day of second-guessing yourself. These three tools, gratitude, breath, and reflection, are your secret weapons for beating that restless mind that likes to put on a late-night performance of the greatest hits of my embarrassing moments. Use them well, and you might just find yourself drifting off faster than you can say, "Wait, did I lock the front door?" And if you thought tonight was helpful, just wait until next week. We're diving into the world of weekly check-ins, and trust me, it's more interesting than it sounds. You know that automatic response we all give when someone asks how we're doing? "Oh, I'm fine." Next week, we'll explore why that little phrase is the biggest lie we tell ourselves and others, and how to move past it without feeling like you're oversharing your entire life story at the grocery store checkout. We'll be covering practical ways to do a real check-in with yourself, the kind that goes deeper than just shrugging and saying, "I'm okay, I guess." Because let's be honest, when was the last time you were actually just fine? If you're anything like me, it's a constant tug of war between I'm overwhelmed, I'm totally crushing it, and I just need a nap. So get ready. We're about to get real, and it's going to be enlightening, funny, and maybe a little uncomfortable. But hey, growth happens outside your comfort zone, right? If you liked this episode, go ahead and hit download and subscribe. You won't want to miss what's coming up, and it'll be right there waiting for you the next time you're lying awake at 2 a.m., wondering why your brain chose now to rehash that awkward moment from middle school. Seriously though, thanks for tuning in tonight to Resilient Rituals. If you made it all the way to the end of this episode, you've officially earned your spot in the We're All Tired But Trying Club. Welcome, your badge is in the mail, and it comes with a lifetime supply of empathy. It's not easy showing up for yourself, especially when you've had one of those weeks where everything feels like a lot. So give yourself some credit, because you're doing better than you think. Remember, it's the small steps that lead to big changes. Even if tonight you only manage to breathe a little deeper, or jot down one tiny thing you're grateful for, that's a win, and I'm proud of you for taking that step. So go ahead, tuck yourself in with the knowledge that you're making progress, and I'll see you next week. Same time, same place, with more tips, laughs, and possibly another existential crisis or two. Until then, take care of yourself, because you're worth it.